Communication plays a vital role in our life, and we have so many communication theories out there. Today, our group, we will presenting about uncertainty reduction theory, and we will begin by defining what is theory and the definition of communication theory. Theory is a set of ideas or concepts that attempt to understand a phenomenon or set of phenomena. By doing some observations, experiment, or by an evidence, it is a systematic way of understanding what happens around us. And in the field of communication, theory serves as a framework to help us understand how humans communicate with one another and the factors that influences this process. Now, let's dive deeper into the specific area of communication theory. A communication theory is a subfield of communication studies that have two main objectives. First, we want to know how people interact with one another. We want to know how humans interact, how people communicate. Number two, we want to know how communication impacts society. And communication theory also covers a wide range of topics, including interpersonal communications, mass media, language, and etc. We have so many communication theories out there, including the first one, social exchange theory, which explains communication as a form of negotiation. Number two, the symbolic interactionism, which explains the role of symbols and language in communication, and the others, including the spiral of silence, the cultivation theory, and gratification theory. Today, we will explain to you about uncertainty reduction theory. The best thing about learning communication theory is it helps us to understand the processes and the effects of communication and how it affects our social work.
Now, I'm going to explain about the uncertainty reduction theory. What is that? Uncertainty reduction theory explains an idea that people need to reduce uncertainty before gaining information about them. It explores the initial interaction between people that occurs before the actual communication process, and it hence also known as initial interaction theory. As soon as the necessary information about the interactants has been retrieved, it would be easier for both to predict their characters and behaviors. Often, with a new and unknown people, there is a certain level of uncertainty, and humans are naturally uncomfortable with it. So, there is an attempt to eliminate it by seeking information about the unknown people. Other assumptions related to this theory are people feel uncertain in initial interpersonal communication. Uncertainty can make people avoid a situation or a behavioral and cause cognitive stress. Strangers wants to reduce uncertainty and predictability in initial interaction. It concerns about the beliefs and attitudes. Thus, it deals with more with discovering who wants it. According to the uncertainty reduction theory, people can have cognitive and behavioral uncertainty. Cognitive uncertainty is concerned with the beliefs and attitudes, and thus in a particular situation. For instance, one could have doubts about why another person acts in a specific way, and questions may arise that could make the individuals uncertain. An individual is about to make an appointment, or when two employees communicate with each other and who have never met in the past. Uncertainty can be found in both reasons also.
A history of uncertainty reduction theory. A communication theory from a post-positivist school is called uncertainty reduction theory. This theory initially introduced in 1975 by Charles R. Baker and Richard J. Carbus. The uncertainty reduction theory, also known as initial interaction theory. The theory was developed to explain how communication is utilized to lessen uncertainties between strangers participating in their first talk together. Additionally, social psychology theories had produced several hypotheses. However, Baker and Carbus were driven to develop hypotheses that directly related to communication behavior, since interpersonal communication processes were not given announced attention. The explanatory power of uncertainty reduction theory was increased by additional research in domains like verbal and nonverbal communications, closeness, reciprocities, information seeking. According to academics, using a diversity of source while collecting information to lessen their uncertainty is a good idea. The range of source includes both of the word being stated that the manner in which they are said. By observing nonverbal clues, we can gather insight into other person and remove and remain doubt, which ultimately leads to close understanding of the other person.
There are six elements in uncertainty reduction theory. The first one is self-disclosure. This is the process of revealing their personal information to someone else in order to build trust and reduce uncertainty. For example, a person might reveal their family background, educational background, and interests to get to know someone better. The second one is nonverbal cues or nonverbal warmth. They are cues such as body language, posture, facial expressions that can be used to understand how someone is feeling and what they are thinking. For example, if someone crossing their arm, it could indicate that they are feeling defensive. One is seeking information. If an individual experiences a high level of uncertainty around an unknown person, the desire to gain information will be higher. Once the uncertainty decreases, information seeking will decrease as well. The fourth one is similarity. This is the process of having similar interests and value in order to build trust and reduce uncertainty. For example, if two people share same political views, this could indicate that they have a lot of in common and could build trust between them. The fifth one is decreased liking. If uncertainty increase, liking will decrease. If uncertainty level go down, liking will increase. Decreased liking occurs when two individuals become less fond of each other, often due to a disagreement or misunderstanding. For example, when two friends have an argument, they may become less fond of each other because they have different opinion on the matter. The sixth one is verbal communication. When strangers first communicate with each other, the level of uncertainty decreases. As uncertainty goes down, communication continues to increase.
In group anti-activity and the impacts of self-uncertainty have been compared in empirical investigations. What incites people to join or identify with particular groups and participate in intergroup conduct was one crucial subject that was examined. The idea that people identify with groups more strongly if they experience self-conceptual doubt was put to the test using the concept of uncertainty reduction theory. There are a few types of group identifications, including that one of a person's nationality, religion, gender, race, and many other related groups. People keep trying to identify with increasingly more specialized groups in an effort to lessen the uncertainty they feel about themselves. There is evidence that they who are really unsure about who they are more prone to identify with more homogeneous group in an effort to lessen that doubts and arrive at a more assured conditions. Generally, depending on the kind of group they join and how much they can relate to themselves within that group, people will be able to either greatly or to a limited degree lessen of their self-uncertainty.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Amir Ahmad Mirazkan. I will present to you how to apply this theory individual. Individual is that which as a distinct entity. Individuality or selfhood is the state or quality of being an individual, being a person unique from other people and possessing one's own needs or goals, rights and responsibilities. As human beings, we always face this uncertain reduction theory. In individual, this theory can be applied when we are uncertain about other person. Example, when our friends want to meet us, but at the same time, she come up with her friends. In this situation, we always want to know about the other person. Our friend's friend will be increase our uncertain level and make us uncomfortable. This theory also can happen when we trying to approach stranger or we were approached by stranger. We will look at in some aspect like verbal communication. It can be attributed to the number of words exchanged in the initial conversation between the interactions. Assumes that the participants' conversations have sense of uncertainty during the first meeting. But as more words are exchanged, uncertainty will be decreased. The interaction will be more easy. Fact is non-verbal expressions like hand gestures, eye contact, and the physical distance between two people. It has been stated in the uncertainty reduction theory there will be a relationship between number of non-verbal expressions and the level of uncertainty. It is believed that if someone shows better or positive expressions like eye contact and a smile, this will make someone feel more comfortable to talk to other people. Next, self-disclosure. Individuals willingly disclose information about themselves to reduce uncertainty for other person. Encourage them to communicate openly. Other aspect is reciprocity. Individual interested in reducing uncertainty or initial relationships will respond to behaviors that reduce uncertainty. For example, asking questions. The higher the uncertainty between individuals, more responses a person can expect. Similarity between two people. People who share common interests will feel less uncertain about each other and will reach a level of communication intimacy more quickly. Meanwhile, dissimilar people will face higher levels of uncertainty. Thank you.
Application of uncertainty reduction theory in daily life. In organizational level, the uncertainty reduction theory can be demonstrated in few phases, which is entry stage will entail the evaluation of all resumes submitted. Those applicants, whoever found fit based on the resumes, can possibly move up to the second phase. If not, then that will be the termination of the communication between the applicant and the organization. For those whose qualifications are found to fit to the requirements of the organization or the company, then they will move up to the second phase, which is personal interview phase. During the personal interview phase, it's possible that the process can be also terminated in only the best and the most qualified person. That specific person will be the person that will be hard for the position. Then later an offer will be made. Then there will be a discussion or a negotiation like a contract signing, which will establish the relationship between the person and the organization. For an example, the cognitive uncertainty reduction theory in an organizational level will be like workers in a company worried that they will lose their job due to any problem such as COVID-19 pandemic, and also the behavioral uncertainty in an organization related to behavior which is predictable in given situation. For instance, a manager of an organization thinks he needs to terminate some of his employees to sustain his business. As we can see, the uncertainty reduction theory also has been effectively applied to the job hiring process. It's clear that the more information is communicated between a job applicant and interviewer, the more satisfaction the applicant will find in the job, and in turn, the more the company will benefit from decreased turnover rates. The pandemic also created the need to reduce uncertainty for citizens in order to mitigate public health risks and for organizations to ensure that they will remain functional in the long run.
In the conclusion that I have learned in this theory, which is uncertainty reduction theory, is that it is very important in relationship and friendship. I realized that many people use it in everyday life basis without they even knowing it. Uncertainty reduction theory is not always the factor of motivating communication skill. They say some people communicate with each other out of genuine desire to connect with the other. Second, URT posits that individuals have natural desire to reduce uncertainty in social interactions. This desire is driven by a need for predictability, control, and securing, which all are essential for successful in social interactions. Third and lastly, I have learned that face-to-face interaction is likely to be more effective in uncertainty reduction strategies. It can lead to increased liking and trust between individuals.